Hey, TayRayGun here, and I bet you've come across this frog before at Five Below, and you probably asked yourself, is it any good? Well, guess what? We're going to review it today, and we'll be able to answer that for you in this video.
Raygun's Legos, bricks and toys.
Alright, so this is one of Five Below's block tech builds, and they have a lot of block tech stuff. So you get block tech, snap and switch, a lot of those come from Five Below. And this is one of their movement or geared pieces that actually has a playable feature with it. And we'll look at all that when we get into the review of the product. As we break this down, I want to do how I always do. We'll look at the box first, break down the box, we'll look at the instructions, we'll talk about the instructions, and then when we get to the product, we'll look at what's good and what's bad, and we'll give the final verdict at the end of the video. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications to be alerted if anything comes from me to you. And I would say, let's get into this product. Now, of course, this is the box, and the box, listen, it's not the build, it's not the booklet, but it does have some information we might want on it. And it's a good thing to see the box, so that way if you see it on store shelves and you're like, hey, I've never seen that, I want to look for it, you can see it from all angles and you know what to expect when you're looking on the shelves. This, of course, is block tech. This is Crankin Creatures. It's a whole series of creatures that have a crankable sort of play feature to them. And this one is the Leaping Tree Frog. Now, one thing to note, it fits with all leading brands. So it's going to fit with your Lego, it's going to fit with your Lumabricks, it's going to fit with your Barweir, it's going to fit with your Block Tech and your Brick Loot and your Brickcraft and etc. and etc. and etc. Make It blocks, all those. It has a pretty good sort of clutch power to it, so this is compatible with them. It uses those standard bricks, and the standard bricks, unlike micro or miniature, this is what we strive for when we want to build things that go in our Lego city, right? So this does utilize those standard bricks, which is nice. It says leaping jump, so 168 pieces. It is one set. They're considered 8 and up. Honestly, I might go a little bit higher with some of this, and I'll talk about it in a minute because there are some features of the instruction booklet that's going to be a little rough for someone that's 8. You might have to have a little hand over hand to help them out. On the side, of course, we get the Crankin blocks there, and we get to see the frog. Same thing on this side. Same thing on this side, but we get to see the frog kind of leap. And then on the back, we get to see cross-sell art of other items. We got the frog, we got a shark, and we got a bird. Now, I've come across a bird. I've never come across a shark, but that might be something on my radar. Now, I technically bought this for my wife because she loves tree frogs. So after I'm done with this, she's getting it from me and I don't get to have it back. But that's okay because guess what? I want her to have it because it's a really cool piece and I think she'll enjoy it. Okay, now the next part of this is the booklet. Now, this is where we start having some issues with this particular build. All in all, it is a booklet, so it's not like a big fold-out, which was nice. I enjoyed having that. But as we get into it, one of the problems that I started to come across is the fact that the numbers for some of the parts are so small. You're really going to have to work in a place where you have a lot of light because these instructions are printed so small. At one point, I had to pull out a magnifying glass, especially as I got around this area where we had a ton of little pieces all together. It was very hard to see what is it that we're working on. Now, you're in a well-lit area, you've got like a work lamp like me, I've got overhead lights. I mean, this could be a straight up art studio because it has so many lights. But if you're working on a normal place near a lamp, something like that, this is really hard to see. And I would almost encourage them to enlarge these parts list and make them a little bit bigger so you could see a little bit more. All in all, the build itself is okay. There's really no complaints with it. The instructions were fairly easy to follow. We turned the model as needed, though there are not a lot of arrows that indicate which way it turns, this way or that, but it's not bad. It's not the best. It's no Lumabricks and it's no Lego, but it's not bad. The instructions are pretty straightforward. and fairly easy to put together. Now the product. This is the part we're all trying to get to. This is the part that we want to see more than anything else. And all in all, this thing is cool. It has a very cool play feature to it. So before I get into the actual play feature, I am going to remove this part of the frog here. And I do want to indicate that this has ball joints in the shoulders. It does have a little bit of a swivel up here as well as on the feet. And you're using these kind of 1x1 stud with leaves on there for the feet. You have a little bit of articulation with the head, and then the back legs you also have a ball joint as well as the swivel on the feet there. So there is a little bit of articulation that if you're wanting to, pose your frog like he's hopping off, you can. But this is not all that the frog has to offer. What the frog has to offer is actually based on this little piece here. Now, we're utilizing a stem over here and some stems over here in order to make this frog leap. And I'll go ahead and tell you, it's a silly sort of leaping frog. It's not the quintessential like, hey, this frog is a super leaper, but for what we're getting 168 pieces with some Technic build for a kid that might be, young and not familiar with how Technic gears, things like that work, this is a great introduction. So the bad. There's not a lot of bad in this. For the most part, there's clutch issues. There's not really any problems. There's a few building techniques that are a little off, but a seasoned veteran, easy to get through. Kids might have a little bit more of a need for a hand-on-hand. The biggest complaint that I had, and the part that really kills me about this, besides for the leaping just being very basic, it's the size of some of what we're getting in our instruction booklet. I really felt like that should have been enlarged more than anything else. That's really the only bad that we're dealing with here. So the final verdict. Is this any good? Well, here's the thing. If you're spending $6 at 168 pieces, not bad for piece count as it is, and the fact that you've got some Technic play features and you've got articulation, so you've got ball jointed sockets. This is a fun piece to put together. You don't need a lot. This could be something that you just kind of put together because you enjoy frogs, or you're wanting some Technic aspect without getting really crazy in the build, right? This gives you some gears, it gives you a crank, it gives you a little bit of satisfaction, and you can still have a few unique ways to build this frog that makes it a lot of fun. I definitely recommend this for kids. I think kids would enjoy this greatly, especially kids who are into machines and some simple like gears, wheels, axles, things like that might kind of help spur their imagination. This is a fun piece to have for them. So for me, I think it's worth picking up. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications to be alerted if anything comes from me to you. Comment down below and like this video. It helps YouTube know that you like what I'm making. Want to help out the channel? Be sure to get something out of the affiliate link down below or in the shop in the link tree in the bio. Hey, I love you all. Jesus loves you more. There's nothing you can do about it. Good luck with the build and happy brick hunting.